Hey y'all! Happy Wednesday, everybody! Hello, hello, hello! Again, it's like the news. I feel like I should just have a news show at this point. It's Rita with your 5 o'clock business news, ready to give you updates. It's raining money all over you. Hi, everybody. How are you? Tell me when you're here. Say hello. I am so excited about today's topic. Today's topic is all about closing more sales, although I really don't like that phrase. Like, I used it because people relate to it, but I like to think of, I don't close the sale, I like start a relationship, right? To me, that's just the beginning. So I start a relationship. Say hi when it should be like, but nobody would have understood that, right? Start, if I had called close more sales, start a relationship instead. Hi, let me know when you're here. Say hello. So that I know. But that's what we're talking about today, right? Really, the important part is that subtitle, which is how to be persistent without being pushy, right? So how many of you have been reading like the posts that I've been posting this week? Hi, Arena. Hi, Vicky. How many of you have been reading the posts that I've put up this week? Like, the topic this week, if you can't tell, is about asking for the sale. Asking for the sale, and why so many people don't ask for the sale, why it's so important to ask for the sale, and how to get over a blockster on asking for the sale. So I'm curious, right? I'm curious. Did you guys read my post about an audit? And if you didn't, here's what it said. It said, I want you to go back on your business page, or if you run a Facebook group, your Facebook group, if you use Instagram, your Instagram, and I want you to like scroll through your most recent 3 posts. And then I want you to say, how many of those were promotional? Like, not a buried promotion. So I don't mean like lots of educational based marketing with like a tiny, like, PS, if you'd like to talk more, call me, right? How many were just like, here's why you want to get on the phone with me for a discovery call. You want to get on the phone with me because your life is going to change if you have a discovery call with me, and this is why. Only about promoting the thing. How many would you say, Vicky or Rena? Like, out of 10 posts on your business page, 10 posts in a group that you run, how many were sales posts or promotional posts? Like, clearly promotional and asking for a sale. And in terms of asking for a sale, I will include like a discovery call, right? But I mean purely promotional. How many? 0, 1, none? You can guess, you can estimate, right? And this is for anybody watching. And if you're watching on replay, I'd love to know this answer too. If you were to scroll through, or even your newsletters, maybe you're like, I don't really post on Facebook. I don't really do that. Or I don't really use social media. I send out newsletters. Cool. How many newsletters were promotional, just sales, right? Like, not like educational, but I mean, it's not that in your sales post you're not going to have some educational based marketing woven in, but you know what I mean, right? I do those posts too, the big long posts that have the PS, right? PS, this is why I've created this program. PS, this is why, you know, why I've created this mastermind group. PS, this is why I'm doing that training. So if you want to take part of the training, sign up for the training, right? So I asked this in the Women's Business Garden group. And most people scroll through their posts and they're like, oh my gosh, like, none of them were promotional. Like, they might have had a promotion at the end, but none of them were like, here's why. Here's why you want to have a sales call with me. Here's why you want to buy my can of Sprite. Am I allowed to do that on Facebook? I feel like I should, like, you know how movies, they have to cover brands and stuff? I don't know. But like, here's why you want this case of Sprite, right? It's lemon lime refreshness. Like, no, they're usually like, oh, I remember when I was a kid and blah, 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 and I was riding a bike and I fell down and my dad brought me this drink and it was like a Sprite and I stopped crying and life was better. P.S. you can buy your own Sprite, right? That's how most are, instead of just going right for it. Sprite is amazing. Sprite is wonderful. It's all of this goodness wrapped up in a little tin can or whatever, and like, you can have it, right? Because it will change your life, and here is why. Do you guys see the difference? Like, yes, no? I don't know if comments froze up because you guys were there and now you're not. So if somebody can say hi, or like, we're still here, or something to let me know. I will also pull you up on my phone just in case Facebook, you know, decided to be glitchy. Not that Facebook is ever glitchy, right? There's never a problem with Facebook, right? So I'm just gonna check to see. No, you guys just are being quiet. You guys just haven't commented. All right, so anyway, that's the thing. That's what we're talking about. And so that's how I kicked off this week, right? Look, Arena's like 0 out of 10. 0 out of 10. I invited to my speaking presentations and live video, but not to have a call with me, right? So people are always like, I'm posting all of the time. I'm posting all of the time, and I don't understand why nobody's signing up for sales calls. I'm posting all of the time, Rita, and I don't understand why people aren't buying this product or buying this service. I'm posting all of the time, and I don't understand why people aren't, you know, signing up for this event. And then they look, like Arena just looked, and it's like, yeah, I'm posting all of the time, but, right, like I'm posting all of the time, but I'm not actually asking for the sale. Or like I'm posting all of the time and I'm burying the sale way at the bottom of a long post. Or I'm posting all of the time and I'm not asking people to get on the phone with me for a sales call. Or I'm burying the sales call request at the bottom of a long post, right? Like after all this stuff, like I don't have promotional posts just for the things I'm selling, right? So here's what I mean. Like this whole week, I've been talking about how to ask for the sale, right? That's educational-based marketing. The posts that I have been doing are educational, right? And so you're learning about me, and it's a way to market my knowledge and what I do and all of that. It's educational-based marketing, right? And maybe 1 or 2 of them had like a call to action. I don't think so though, but 1 or 2 of them might have, right? But let's pretend now that I had a sales program. Let's say that I was selling a group coaching program for sales, which I don't, but let's pretend that I did, right? Unless you guys want that, and then I'll start selling it. So just tell me if that's something you really wish I sold, and then maybe I'll create it and I'll sell it, right? But I don't have a program for sales, but that's what we're talking about this week. So let's pretend, right, that I did. Well, then in addition to the educational-based marketing posts that I've been doing all week, I would probably have 5 posts that are just about that program, right? That are literally like, I have created this part, like, are you suffering from, are you struggling with, are you frustrated by? This program will take care of that. Here's why. Here's what's so great about it. Here's what's so different about it in terms of how it can help you. Not buried, right, at the end of a story, or not buried, but like I would have promo posts, right? So like promotional posts just for why you want to get on the phone with me for a clarity call. Just about that, not buried at the end again, but like, do you want your life to change? Are you frustrated? Are you tired? Like, get on the phone with me for a clarity call. Let's talk about it. Here's why, right? Like, I'll have 5 different versions of that. If I have a mastermind group, I'll have 5 different posts to advertise the mastermind group. And those are direct advertising, right? So that's the difference again for people who are just watching, or people, you know, that's the difference between me telling a story about my childhood and my parent bringing me a Sprite when I was hurt, and it changed my life and it made me happy. And P.S., you can buy a Sprite, right? You can buy a Sprite. It's way down here. It's way down here, but you can buy it. You can buy my Sprite, everybody, right? It's like, that's what people are doing. It's like, blah, 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 story about falling off a bike and whatever, and my mom loved me and my dad loved me and they brought me Sprite and it was so great and blah, blah, blah. And you can buy a Sprite. You can buy it. Bye. Right? That's what people are doing in their posts, right? Those serve a purpose. I do them. They serve a purpose, right? But what they're not doing are those additional posts of like, you can buy a Sprite. You can do this. It's amazing. Let me tell you how it's going to solve all of the problems in your life, and how you're just going to like start shedding money off of your skin when you drink a Sprite, right? And this is why, and like, don't you want that, right? Here's how you buy it. Do you see the difference? Yes, no? Are you guys good with it? Now I'm actually going to drink this Sprite. Yes, no? Are you guys seeing the difference in those posts? You want a mix, right? You want a balance. In fact, you want probably, 70% of your posts to be more educational-based marketing with calls to action than just straight promotional. But my point is, you still need the straight promotional. And then to add to that, people that are doing a lot of the educational based marketing, they're not putting the PS at the end, right? So they're saying things like, I fell off a bike and my parents bought me Sprite, and then I became the most popular kid in school. Pitt Sprite should totally have me as an affiliate, right? And then I became the most popular kid in school. I love Sprite. And there is no call to action at all to engage. There's no call to action to get on the phone with me. There's no call to action to like click and buy my Sprite, right? So that's what I'm saying. So, right, and I say that because I don't know if you guys saw the post today, right? But there was a study that was done by, it's like the International Institute of Sales or something like that, right? 90% of people won't buy unless you ask them to, even if they want to buy. 90% of people won't buy from you, even if they want to, if you don't ask. So that's like, how many of you have ever had a sales call like this? I want to know. Or how many of you have ever been on a sales call like this? So like you're having a pretty good sales call, right? You're having what you think is like a really good clarity call, discovery call, sales call, whatever you want to call them. And then you're thinking, wow, like, boy, that sounds good. Like, this sounds really, I'm kind of excited about this. And then they're like, okay, cool. So like, do you have any questions? And you're like, I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think so. And then they're like, all right, well, you know what? If you have any questions or you need anything in the future, like just email me and let me know. Let me know whatever you think. I'll be around, okay? Bye. And you're like, wait, okay, bye, right? How many? I've been on calls like that. When I started, I had calls like that, right? There were some times that I just never asked for the sale on a call. Never. I like had a great call. They knew I was a good coach. They knew I was a rocking coach, right? They were excited, and I did not ask for the sale. And instead it was just like, okay, cool. Well, think about it. Let me know if you need anything, all right, cool. Bye. Right? How many of you have been on a call like that? How many of you have been the person holding a call like that, right? That doesn't ask for the sale. And I'm curious, like, why? Right? I know what my reasons were. I'm curious what your reasons are. Like, why do you think when you're in the middle of those calls or you're having an in-person version of that, a sales meeting or something, when you haven't asked for the sale, why? Why haven't you asked for the sale? I'd love to know. Right? And that's what I do with my clients, right? Okay, so Marina's like, yeah, sales calls are great. So you have to ask that, right? But I don't know why, right? I don't know why that, so I'm curious, like I know why. I know why my clients say it. But I'm curious for you, Arena, why? Why is that so awkward, right? So here's like, I'm curious. I'm not going to answer for you. I really want to know from people watching, why is that part awkward for you when it comes time to ask for the sale? When it comes time to ask for the sale. So my clients, right, when they're like, Rita, I'm having all of these sales calls and nobody's signing up with me. I have them take me through their entire sales process, right? So this is only a piece of it. The actual sales call should only be a very tiny piece of your entire sales process, right? The sales process is much bigger than the sales call. So if that's something you struggle with, get on the phone with me, right? Like seriously, like if you're like, wait, but all I do is a call. People ask for a call and I get on the call, and then if they don't want it, that's it, right? Like then you need to get on the phone with me. Schedule a clarity call with me, seriously. Because like the sales process is bigger, right? And it's more robust. So that sales call is a piece of it. But when I have them take me through their whole sales process, part of it is the call. And when we get on the call, we'll have a great sales call. And then they'll be like, okay, so do you have any questions? And I'll say, no, I don't think so. And they're like, all right, well, it was really great talking to you today. Let me know if you have any questions. Like, I'm reachable by email. You can reach out to me at any time, okay? And I'll be like, oh, okay. All right, thanks, bye. So Arena says, I don't want to hear a no. I don't want to hear a no, right? So I'm going to write that down. And for anybody else watching, Why is it when you're in these sales meetings or sales calls, you're not asking for the sale? So I'm going to write it down so I can reference it in the future. I don't want to hear a no, or I don't want to feel pushy, right? I don't want to hear a no, and I don't want to feel pushy. So who else, right? I've got two stories for you, right? You know me, I teach by story. Hi, everybody who's hopping on. Please tell me you're here. Say hi, let me know you're here. I love talking to you all every Wednesday. Like, I'm so glad I started this Wednesday. I need to do a poll to make sure this is the right time and the right day. But like, I love talking to you all weekly. All right. So Arena, I'm going to ask you a question, okay, since you're here and you're the one it's like law school. Oh, I hated it in law school when the professors would it's called the Socratic method, and they would just call on you. Just terrible, right? So I'm doing that here for all of you. So Arena, let's say that you have a sore throat, okay? Let's say that you can't swallow. Your throat is completely swollen, right? You can't swallow. It hurts so bad. And so you go to the doctor. And the doctor says, say ah, right? So you say ah, and he's like, yeah, I know what that problem is. I'm very familiar with that problem. And it's like, oh, okay. It's like, and I know how to solve that problem. I know how to solve the sore throat. And you're sitting there like, right? You can't talk, you can't swallow. You're like, and the doctor's like, yep, yep. There's a pill they made. There's a pill they made that if you swallow it, that sore throat goes away. And you're like, oh. And then he's like, all right. Well, Arena, it's been really great seeing you today, right? Take care. Let me know if you have any questions. How would you feel, Arena? Hi, Tamika. Hi. How would you feel, Arena, if you were there with a completely painful, swollen sore throat? The doctor diagnosed your problem. The doctor said there's a solution for your problem, right? And that he has access to the solution. And then he says, bye, later. Like, how would you feel? Anybody can answer, but like, how would you feel? Would you sit there and be like, oh, I'm so glad he wasn't pushy. I'm so glad he didn't like ask if I wanted to buy the pill, right? Boy, am I glad he didn't offer me that, right? Like, whoo, avoided that one. Like, are you thinking that? No, right? Like, I don't think so. I would hope not. You're probably sitting there thinking, I'm waiting for Arena to type, right? I want to give people time to type. But like, you're hopefully sitting there thinking like, right, like what the heck, right? Like, dude, I want to buy this magic pill you talk about to take away my sore throat. Like, sell it to me. I'm having a problem. I want the problem solved. I need the result that that pill gives me. Sell it to me. Why won't you sell it to me, right? And now I'm either thinking, wow, like, right, and Tamika's like, I'd be thinking, why am I here? Why did I schedule this appointment? If they're not going to sell me the solution, why did I just spend 45 minutes in this appointment with this doctor, right? When you're not asking for the sale, that's what you're doing to your clients or your prospective clients. You've taken them through this whole sales call process, right? The sales call that helped them really get clear about their problems and their challenges. And then you let them know that there is a solution and you have it, right? You have the solution. There's a solution. And then you're just like the doctor walking out of the examination room and your client is sitting there going, but what, your prospective client, right? Because they're probably not your client now. And they're thinking like, what? Well, Vicky, that's what we're talking about too, right? We're about to get to that, Vicky, right? I think sometimes people have asked for the sale too easily. They're not doing enough of the other stuff, right? They're doing too much sales. Like, you can actually sell too much, right? But like, we're going to get to the more visibility part, right? We're going to get to that. But it's like, you're like the doctor, right? Walking out of the room and leaving your people without the solution. And in fact, they're thinking, then why did I just go through this whole call with you? I got on the call because I want this solution, or I think I do. I'm just trying to see if it's a good fit for me. And if it is, and I want it, why didn't you ask me to buy it? So here's a story, right? A woman I know who's also a coach was sharing this story on her podcast. about how once she didn't ask for the sale. She did the whole sales call and didn't ask for the sale. And then the next day, the person emailed her and said, I'm kind of curious, why did you not ask if I wanted to work with you? Is it because you don't think I'm like good, or that my business isn't going to work, or that I don't really have a shot, or I don't, that person had been thinking all night, like, that something was wrong with them. And that's why the person didn't ask for the sale, right? Do you guys see that? Like, that's how people are feeling when you don't ask for the sale. So that's like the number one issue, right? The number one issue is that people aren't asking. But to feel more comfortable asking, one, and we're going to get into some like how do you get more visible and how do you ask, like how can you get more persistent, right? But before you can get more persistent, you have to first be okay with asking for the sale, right? Otherwise, when I tell you how to get more visible and more persistent, it's not going to matter, right? So like, it's important that you change your perspective around what you're doing, right? People are on the phone with you because they already know you're a credible expert. Nobody just randomly dialed your phone number and said, I'd like to talk to you. I don't know what you do, but let's chat, right? Like, people are on the phone with you because they know you're credible and you're an expert, and they know that you potentially have the solution to their problem, right? That's why they're on the phone with you. You're the expert, right? And I gave an example in today's post about, like, you don't go to a restaurant and like the server comes up and just stands there in silence thinking, well, because you know it's a restaurant and because you read the menu, if you want food, you're going to ask for it, right? No, like the server says, hi, can I take your order? What would you like? Let me make some recommendations. In my opinion, this is going to be the right fit for you. And I think that this is what you should buy, right? I think that this is what you should do. Like, I think you would really enjoy that, right? What do you say? Would you like to buy the pasta primavera today, right? It's like, yes, I think I would. I didn't even know I wanted it until you talked to me about it, right? But you see, like, a server wouldn't just stand there and say, hey, you're in a restaurant, you've got a menu, obviously, you know, we serve food, so if you want it, you're going to ask for it. Like, but people are doing that on their sales calls. Like, hey, you know, I'm a coach, you know that I help you make a lot of money. If you want coaching, of course, you're just going to proactively ask me on the call or out of the call. You're going to say, hey, Rita, this was a great call. Can I work with you? That's not how it happens, right? In fact, again, 90% of people won't buy if you don't specifically say, right? So we're going to talk about the transition and how you do that in a minute. But to Vicky's point, right? So that's important to know. You have to be okay, right, with asking for the sale. But the next part is this, right? And we're going to talk about this from an online standpoint first, and then we'll move to offline. So the online, right, is like, you think you're posting a lot. You think you're posting about something a lot, right? But the reality is you're not. And I shared a story in the group this week about my retreat. And I ran my first retreat, the reset retreat, right, at the end of March. And I was so excited when I came up with this idea, and I went to go publish it, you know, post it for the first, and like I posted about it, you know, for a couple of days, like twice a day. And then I was posting about it 5 times a day, and doing like one of those posts was a Facebook Live video. So I was posting about 5 times a day. I was sending out like 2 newsletters a week. I was posting on my business page, right? I did that for a couple of weeks. At the beginning, I had a few registrations coming quickly, and then they all stalled, and like no new registrations were coming. So how many of you have had that happen? Where like you had an idea and you posted something. You posted like a product or a service or whatever, and you're excited about it, and like they're crickets. Even though you're posting all the time, they're crickets, right? Or there was interest, and then the interest dies down, right? And you're thinking, what the heck, right? What the heck? I'm posting about it. Like, so I was posting about 5 times a day. 5 times a day in my group, right? In this group, in the Women's Business Garden group, all around you, right? Posting 5 times a day and sending out 2 newsletters and doing like a video, right? And so I decided to do a poll in my group. I did a poll in my group, like, why aren't you guys signing up for the retreat? Like, is it the dates, right? Because of course I was going to make it the fault of the retreat. Is it the dates? Is it where it is? Is it like the content, subject matter? Is it like, what are your reasons for not wanting to go? The number one answer, guys, was what retreat, right? Sorry, my phone is ringing. That's weird. My number one answer was what retreat. And hold on one second, guys. A telemarketer is calling me right now. Okay, so the number one answer is what retreat. And I was like, I sat there like this. I've been posting about it 5 times a day. I've been talking about it. I've been like, what retreat, right? So then I asked if I could get on the phone with everybody. And they're like, Rita, I haven't seen the post till the poll, right? And here's why. So in Facebook world, let's talk about Facebook groups. I asked them, I've been posting 5 times a day in the Facebook group. Have you not seen any of them? And they said, well, no. And I said, tell me how you interact with my Facebook group. Do you proactively just click on Women's Business Garden and come into Women's Business Garden? And I'm actually curious, this is a great time for me to ask you guys. Do you guys just proactively go, let me go into Women's Business Garden today and see what's going on? Some people will, a good number of people will, but let me know about you specifically, right? So these people on the phone, I asked them the same question. Do you just click, or do you like proactively find Women's Business Garden, search for it, go in and see what's going on? The majority of them were like, no, I never proactively go in there. But when I see something on my news feed, right, when I see something on my news feed from Women's Business Garden that's interesting, I'll click on it and go into the group. So how many of you kind of interact with this group or other groups like that? Like you're not proactively going into the group, but you're on your personal news feed. And so when something catches your attention on the news feed, right, that's interesting, you'll go, oh, and it's like a conversation happening in that group. It's a post happening in that group. So you click on it, and then you go into the group, right? And then you look around, okay? That was the number one answer for how people were interacting on Facebook, especially with Facebook groups, okay? The reason that that's important is that the only posts that people see on their personal news feed from groups are going to be A, right, posts that they set notifications personally to receive, B, posts from their friends. So like if we're friends and we're in the same Facebook group and you post something, I'll see that on my feed, right? And then number 3, post with super high engagement, meaning a lot of comments, a lot of comments. Those are the posts that show up on somebody's personal news feed on Facebook from a group. And so, right, if I'm posting, right, about this retreat and it's not getting high engagement, meaning a lot of content, a lot of comments, a lot of interaction, right? And like, I'm not your friend, so it's not going to show up on your personal feed. It's not going to show up for you. And if most people aren't proactively going into Facebook groups, but instead they're only clicking on things that catch their interest to go into a Facebook group and look around, do you see why? Like nobody's seeing that post, right? But the reason they saw the poll, right, when I posted the poll was I had like over 100 and something responses to that because it was interactive. People were clicking and answering, and then people were adding comments about their answer. And so other people saw, and so it became a highly engaged post, and it started showing up in the algorithm on like everybody's newsfeed. So then more people came in and interacted. So from that poll alone, I filled the retreat. From that poll alone, people were like, I didn't know about the retreat. This sounds cool. Like, sign me up. Let's do it, right? Right? But here I was thinking that because I was posting 5 times a day and sending out 2 a few people, but like nobody had seen any of my 5 posts. And about the newsletters, I asked them and they're like, Rita, I swear I'm on your email list. I want your newsletter. I'm not getting it. It was going to their spam folder. It was going to their promo folder. It was going elsewhere, right? And they just forgot about it. So they weren't even seeing it, right? So here I am thinking, whoa, I'm super visible. So obviously if they wanted to go, they would go because they know everything they need to know about it. And the reality was they didn't know anything about it. And I was the most visible I'd ever been for anything, right? So if you can't tell, part of the way of reframing how am I persistent without being pushy is you have to change your mindset around it, right? It's not being pushy, right? People are choosing to be on a sales call with you. They're choosing to, right? They didn't just randomly dial you. They signed up for a sales call because they want potentially to buy what you're offering. So they want you to sell to them, right? People are proactively in your group knowing, right, as long as you are honest and you're leading your group with integrity, knowing who you are and what you do, knowing that you're going to like make calls to action to sell things, right? Like they're not surprised by this, right? So like I should have been doing a lot more. And I wasn't doing more because I just had this idea that I was already visible enough. I was already visible enough. People knew, they had the information, so they would sign up if they wanted to, right? So things I wasn't doing, I wasn't then proactively reaching out to people and saying, hey, I saw you clicked on this link. Would you like to come to the retreat? Let me answer any questions for you. I wasn't, targeting people who had opened my emails about the retreat and interacted with it. I wasn't, asking more questions about it. I wasn't doing like direct outreach. I wasn't doing all of this stuff, right? Because I was like, okay, like I'm already visible enough, right? Are you guys seeing that? So like, the minute that I dropped the idea that I could be too visible, there is no such thing as too visible. There's no such thing as asking for the sale too many times, right? Because people who are having the problem that my thing can solve, they're searching for the solution. They're searching for it. And if I don't happen to be there offering the solution when they cross my path, they're like that patient sitting on that examination table saying, what? I thought there was a solution. I guess not. I guess I'm going to have to live with this pain for like a while longer. What are your thoughts around this? What are some ahas and insights? Right, we're going to go to a lot more. Like there's still a lot more to talk about, right? So for those of you who are just joining, right, the short Cliff Notes version is, number one, people aren't asking for the sale, period, right? Because they're scared of all this stuff. And we went over that at the beginning of the video. But then like, number two, we reframed it, right? We reframed what asking for the sale is. It's like a patient in pain going to a doctor, and the doctor knows what the problem is, and the doctor has a cure, and the doctor doesn't ask you if you want the cure, and the doctor walks out. It's been great seeing you. If you have questions, let me know, without saying, would you like to take the cure? Would you like to buy this cure from me? Like, yes, I want to buy the cure. That's why I'm here, right? But if you don't ask, and then I also shared a story about someone who didn't ask for the sale, and the girl emailed her the next day and said, am I not good enough to work with you or something? Like, do you think my business is terrible because you didn't ask to like work with me, right? Because you didn't ask people, you didn't ask. Like, she actually was hurt, right? It's not a surprise, people. When people sign up for a sales call with you, they know that the jig is up. They know what's happening, right? It's about sometimes how you do this. And that's what I mean by the sales process is bigger. So if you have trouble with the sales process and you want to get on a clarity call with me about this, let me know, right? But like, it's in setting the expectations. Here's what we're going to do on the call today. And at the end of our time, we're going to decide if working with me is the right next step for you. How does that sound? We're going to decide together if that's the right next step. Right? And then we get to that part, like, so what do you say? Like, after talking to you, I know that you're a good fit for me. I know that I have the solutions to your problem. I think you can definitely reach these results. The question is, would you like to move forward with me as your coach? Would you like to move forward with me as your photographer? Would you like to move forward with me as your social media manager? Would you like to move forward with me, et cetera, et cetera? Would you like to, et cetera? Wouldn't the solution be to post less, but try to make posts more and no? So here's the thing, right? It'll still only show up one time. It gets engagement, but it's only going to show in somebody's feed like that one time. It's not going to keep popping back up. People only buy what's in front of them. People only buy what's in front of them. You have to stay in front of them, right? So if I do a post like at 9 a.m., it's going to catch the attention of some people. And then at 3 o'clock, it's going to be completely different people. And then at 5 o'clock, it's completely different people. And some people, and here's the other piece of this, right? And this is a story that I tell all the time. It's like, let's say, to keep to the reset retreat. This isn't a true like about the retreat, but let's keep to the reset retreat. Let's say you get my newsletter about the retreat, and let's say you see a post about the reset retreat in this group, and you're like, wow, that sounds great. Right? That sounds great. I want to find out more. But then your day gets busy, right? And you forget about it. But hey, I sent a newsletter. So you see my newsletter and you open the newsletter. And the newsletter is talking all about the retreat, right? And there's a click to sign up for the retreat. And you're like, cool, I totally want to sign up for this retreat, but I don't have my credit card on me, so I'm going to need to wait. So you file it away. And then you go home and your kids need you and you're whatever. So then you decide to like bounce around on Facebook that night, and you see another post that I did, right, about the reset retreat. And you're like, oh man, I meant to sign up for that. You know what? I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm so tired right now, right? But of course, tomorrow brings with it all kinds of stuff. And the last thing on your mind is the reset retreat until you get to work. And then you open my other email that I sent about the reset retreat. And you're like, oh my gosh, okay, today is the day. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it today. And then your boss is like, all right, I need you in this meeting. And you're like, that's it. I'm doing it, right? But then you come back and it's like, you haven't done it, but you go in my Facebook group and you see like another post, right? And you're so glad, right? They're like, because now you're ready. Like now you're going to do it. And you click and you buy and you sign up for the retreat, right? Here's why I tell that story. It takes 12 times of seeing something. They've gotten up to 12, guys. 12 times of seeing about something before people will even start interacting with it. Before people will start even like seriously trying to do anything with it. Up to 12 times of seeing it. Because here's what happens. You see it and you're interested in it. It interests you. You're like, that's kind of, I might like to buy that thing, right? But right, life happens, and then you hear about it again, and you're just getting more excited. You're like, God, people really love that thing, and look at all the people signing up for the thing, and then you're like, I don't know, should I do the thing? I think I want to do the thing. This is like, I think I need to do it, right? But then the more you see it, the more the excitement builds until eventually that person is like, okay, God, I get it, right? I've seen this thing so many times. I need to go to this retreat. It's everywhere I turn, I need to go, right? Do you see that, Arena? So like it becomes very important, right? So if people need to see something 12 times before they'll do anything with it, right? But we've now learned that to see something even one time, right, for them on Facebook or in your newsletter or whatever, for them to even see it once, right? For them to even see it once takes how many times of you posting before they actually catch one of the posts? Right? But now they need to catch 12 of your posts, right? Or at least in some way interact with you about it about 12 times, right? Before they'll do it or before they'll really like take interest in it. You can't just be posting less, right? Like let me post less but have more engagement because it's still less that they're going to see it, right? So you just need to post a lot and post a lot with engagement, but also have other things. It's not just about posts. It's about seeing who clicks on the links in your newsletters and targeting them more. It's about, calling people on the phone. It's about direct outreach. It's about answering questions, but it's about all of these multiple times, right? So that's the thing, right? And then 90% of people won't actually buy unless they're asked. So even if you're able to like get the visibility, right? And so here's, again, it's just a mindset shift, right? How do you get more persistent without like being pushy? A lot of people are like, well, I don't want to post 18 times, right? Because that's pushy, right? Now, I'm not saying only do spam. That's very different, right? Don't spam. That's another whole conversation for another whole day, like how to actually do educational-based marketing, what kinds of posts you should be doing. There are 5 kinds of posts that you could be doing, right? How to alternate all of those with the promo posts in a way that's continuously selling. Like that's a little more than I can go into on a Facebook Live. But again, right, if you're curious about it, tell me, schedule a clarity call with me. Let's talk about it, right? Just stop like not having this work for you, because sales is what differentiates a business from a hobby. So you're making sales, right? But you're not if you're not doing these things. So, let's get you some money, right? Let's make you some sales. So here's the thing, right? Like you've got to like change your mindset. It's not pushy, right? It's not pushy because number one, people aren't even seeing it in the first place, right? You think you're super visible. Usually if you go count how many times you've actually posted or talked about something or how many conversations you've had or whatever, it's never as many as your brain thinks. You're like, God, I've talked about that all week long. And I'm like, really? You've talked about it all day long, all week long? Go count the posts. Go count the posts. Count the calls you've had. How many? Well, Rita, I posted about it 4 times over the course of 2 weeks. It's like, but my brain felt like I had posted about it 40 million times, right? But it was only like 4, and I had like 2 calls, and it's like, yeah, right? Our brain does that. It tricks us. But then on top of it, now we know how many posts it takes for somebody to see something because of the way that they're using Facebook, right? And now we know that they have to see it how many times before they'll actually really start interacting with it, before the excitement builds up enough that they're like, enough, I have to do this now, right? So take away the I'm being pushy, and it's like, I'm just trying to get visible, right? Bare bones. Like I feel like I'm doing it a lot, but I have to do it a lot for them to see it once, right? So you change that. But then it's also taking away that I'm being pushy by putting back that doctor-patient analogy. The patient came to see the doctor because the patient has a problem and the patient wants this problem solved. So they're seeking out all the information and resources that the doctor has. So if the doctor has a cure, they want to buy the cure. And if you don't ask them to, they're going to feel like maybe I have to live with this problem forever. Maybe there's not a cure available to me. Maybe I'm not allowed to buy the cure. Maybe I'm not the right person for the cure. Am I stuck with this forever? Is there no solution, right? Or they're going to go, right, and they're going to go buy it from somebody else who does offer them the cure, right? Who does do that. So like, what's coming up for you guys? What thoughts? What is something that you think you need to change just based on this? And I'm going to give you a lot more detail, right, about how to take the pushy out. But like, what's coming up with you here? What's something that makes an aha moment for you? Anything at all? Anything you're going to do differently? Anything at all, right? So I said people like to be asked, right? 90% of people won't buy unless you ask them. This is why servers come up to a table and say, what would you like to order? Versus just standing there going, well, they know the drill, so they're going to order when they're ready. I'm just going to stand here in silence till they do know. They say, because our brain, they've done like these studies, scientific studies, but I don't know all the scientific terms. So, but our brains will stay in inquisitive mode if we let it, right? So unless it's jarred out of it, meaning our brain wants to constantly analyze, it wants to research, like it wants to learn, it wants to consume, it wants to debate, it wants to like learn, analyze, ask more questions, consume, learn, analyze, ask more questions, consume, right? This is why you can go to a restaurant and you look at a menu and you're like, I don't know what I want. I'm still learning, I'm still analyzing, I'm still consuming. What do you think is good? Like, what do you like? Okay, so now I have this new thing to analyze and research and like learn and consume. And then it's like, I don't know, let me ask you another question. And then see what I'm saying? Like we stay in this loop because our brain wants us to. Our brain wants us to constantly be in that loop. But when somebody jars you out of it, right, then you go into decisive mode. So when somebody says, so what would you like to order, right? Like, what should I place for you? Then it's like, oh, that's right. Okay, you know what? I'll just have the hamburger. I'll just take the hamburger, right? So somebody has to jar. That's what. So you've just come out of a call that was all about analyzing, researching, considering, learning, right? And if you don't transition them to a decisive frame of mind, right? That's all you're doing is saying, hey, we're out of the inquisitive analysis mode and we're in a decision mode. So what do you say? Would you like to move forward with me as your coach? What do you say? Would you like to move forward with me as your decorator? What do you say? Would you like to move forward with me as your photographer, right? It's like, oh, okay, wait, we're in the decision mode now. I have to like bring my decision game on, right? Like that's where we are. Okay, cool. But if you don't ask it, then someone's going to be like, if you're just like, okay, and you're like, okay, well, if you have questions, let me know. Then it's like, well, okay, could you actually send this to me in writing? Could you like, I don't know, let me research a little bit, or like, I'm going to go look at your website and learn a little more. Or like, because the brain hasn't been jarred out of the inquisitive mode. The brain is still there. It hasn't moved to the decisive mode, right? So that's why, right? And also like a new way of framing it as not being pushy is, look, like I'm an expert and they're coming to me as an expert. And that means they want me to lead them through something to get them to the other side, right? That's why they're coming to me. They are hoping that as an expert, I'm going to make a recommendation, that I'm going to lead them through their problem to the light, right? But that's what they also want you to do on a sales call, right? You know what I need. You know what I want. You know what I need. Like, tell me. I'm coming to you as the expert, right? So here's like the thing, right? Here's kind of like the takeaway and the summary of this in a way. It's not really a summary because it's new information. But like when you have this like feeling, okay, that you're being pushy with sales. So how many of you, again, like I don't know how many are here now. And if you're watching on replay, tell me, but like how many of you feel like when you're posting too many times, now we talked about that at the beginning, if you miss that, catch that, right? There's a reason for it. You're actually not posting nearly enough. No matter how many times you're posting, it's not enough. You're not like going to the networking meeting and saying the thing nearly enough, right? Because people need 12 interactions with it to want to do a thing. People need like, you know, to all of this stuff that's at the beginning of the video. But like, how many of you feel pushy when you're asking for the sale? Or how many of you feel pushy when you've posted too many times? Yes, no, like maybe so. I don't know, maybe so. And if you're on the replay, please tell me that, you know, your answer, because I'm going to be looking and commenting on the replay comments. But like, the reason that when we come to the sale and we feel like, oh, I'm being pushy, or oh, if I actually just do a promo post about the Sprite instead of actually just like bury it at the end of an educational post, right? That's being pushy, is because we start doubting ourselves, right? We're doubting our product. We're doubting our service. We're doubting us as the expert. We're doubting our price. We're doubting if this is actually really going to give them the impact that they want, if it's actually going to give them the solutions that we want. We start doubting our expertise. We start doubting our skills, right? That's what we start doing. We start doubting. Like, we might not even consciously realize we're doing it, but we start to doubt, like, oh, I don't know if she's really going to like this. I don't think Arena's going to like this. I'm not 100% sure that this retreat's going to change her life, right? I don't know. Can I actually run a life-changing retreat? Like, the answer is yes, by the way. Ask anybody who was at the retreat. But like, that's what's going on in my head, right? When I'm not posting more, when I'm not doing more direct outreach, or when I'm not asking for the sale, it's because the reason we start feeling pushy, like, oh my God, if I ask for it, it's going to be pushy, is because we actually don't believe it's going to work, right? We actually don't think that it's good. We actually don't think whatever. And so it's like, that's the first thing. We start lacking belief in our business, or we start lacking belief in ourselves. And that makes asking for the sale feel pushy or manipulative. Like, oh, I'm about to ask them to coach with me, and coaching with me is whatever your rate is, right? So it's like, oh, if you want to coach with me for 6 months, yeah, sure, that's cool, right? It's $6,000. Like, the reason that I'm not going to say it is because I'm starting to go like, oh my God, like, nobody's going to pay $6,000 for coaching, right? Like, that's the kind of thoughts that pop into our head. So it feels manipulative because we're not believing in the value. We're not believing in the price. We're not believing in ourselves to be able to deliver it and to actually lead them through to the other side. We're not believing that they actually think it's valuable. We're not believing in our business, right? We're not believing. You guys see what I'm saying? But when you don't ask for the sale, it's the same result as a no, right? Right? Like, not asking for the sale. So like Arena said at the beginning, I don't ask because I don't want to know. I don't want a no, like not to know. I don't want a no. But when you don't ask, it's still a no. You didn't get the sale, right? It's still a no. And as we talked about at the beginning, for all kinds of reasons that might even be worse, you might have created a worse relationship with that person because you didn't ask for the sale, because of how they feel, right? How they feel. And it's like, that actually generates even more doubt. When you co-sign on your doubt, when you co-sign on your doubt with action, it creates more doubt. It's like Shay just said, look, I feel pushy sending out an email, right? So Shay, you have to watch the beginning of this to reframe your mindset around that. People are on your list because they want to hear from you. People are on your list because they want to potentially buy what you have to do. And when you're not giving them that opportunity to do that, you're taking away their decision making, you're taking away their power, you're taking away, right? Like, the opportunity for them to have an experience that they're searching for, to solve a problem that they're challenge, you know, you're a doctor that has a cure to a disease that doesn't tell anybody that they've got the cure, and you leave people hurt and sick all over the place, right? But when you co-sign on it with action, it reinforces it. So if it's like, oh my God, I don't think I'm going to send this email, people are going to think this is pushy. And the reason that people think that it's pushy is because you're doubting it. You're doubting that it's valuable. You're doubting that they're going to see the value. You're doubting in yourself to deliver on it. You're doubting in you, right? So because you might not consciously realize this, but you're doubting in you and your business. And so if you don't send it, let's stick with this email train. We're going to stay on this email train, right? If you're like, oh, this email, if I send it's going to be so pushy, people aren't going to like it. They're not going to want to read it. Really what it is I don't think it's good. I think people are going to hate it because it's not valuable. I think it's not solving a problem. I think they're going to be really frustrated by it, right? Like, whatever. And so you don't send it. All that does is reinforce, see, you're right? That's not the good thing to do. That's not the right thing to do. You were correct, right? And when you co-sign on it through your action or lack of action, it just creates more doubt. right? And so the doubt grows. The doubt in your pricing grows. The doubt in your fear. So if I'm like, gosh, you know what? Are my prices too high? I don't know. Maybe I should lower them. And then I lower them. It's like, oh gosh, okay. So now just even more doubt. I just created even more doubt. Like that's why when you lower your prices, like you still are like, you're like, that should have solved my problem, but it didn't, right? All it did is create more doubt. And of course, what we're experiencing is what the other people across from us on the phone or on the computer or whatever are experiencing. So like, not asking is the same result as getting a no. You don't have the sale. And in fact, it can be worse because like we said at the beginning, of the way people interpret not being asked for the sale is actually being a hurtful thing, right? So then the lack of a sale generates more doubt in your business. You're like, oh my gosh, well, I don't have the sale. So now really right? You're not asking for, do you guys see the circle? I need to know that you see the circle. Do you see the circle? It's like, I'm not going to ask for the sale because I doubt that my business is really that wonderful. So I'm not asking for the sale. I did not get the sale. Gosh, I'm not getting any sales. So my business must not be wonderful. And so I'm not going to ask for the sale. So I didn't get yet another sale. So people must not want what I have to offer. So I'm not going to offer it. So nobody's buying it. And so it must not be something people want. So I'm not going to offer it. Are you guys seeing that circle? Right? It's like, no, people aren't buying it because you didn't ask them, because 90% of people have to be asked. Now we know that 90% of people will not buy if they are not asked, not because they don't want it, but because you didn't knock their brain out of inquisitive mode and put it into decisive mode. So they don't actually make the decision, right? Like the restaurant example we use. So, but it is important, whether you're doing it through posts or newsletters or in person or however, or a mix or all of it, right? That asking for the sale feels good. It has to feel good to you. If it feels bad, right? But now we know that the only time asking for the sale feels bad, right, is when you're in some way doubting yourself, right? You're some way doubting it. Like the only reason I'm actually really worried if somebody says no to my coaching is because I'm worried, right, about my coaching. Like if I'm solid, if I'm 100% solid, and I am, by the way, I'm 100% solid, then my coaching produces results for people who are willing to take action, right? If people are willing to do their part, then my part helps them, right, to achieve goals and reach results. So I'm certain in that. So when people say no, thank you, it doesn't affect me. I don't think it's a personal thing, right? Like they barely know me. It's not a personal rejection. They're saying no to my coaching. But I'm also not worried about them saying no to my coaching because I'm rock solid in that. Rock solid in the value of my coaching, right? I help people make tons of money. I help people speak on stages. I help people have amazing impact in their life. Like I help people do a lot of things, right? I'm rock solid in it. So people can say no. So when I'm afraid of a no, it means I'm either not rock solid in myself or I'm not rock solid in what I'm offering. Does that make sense? Are you guys, yes, no, right? Like that's what's happening inside. So I have to first to be able for this to, and if I don't feel rock solid about me, or I don't feel rock solid about what I'm offering, then asking somebody to buy it feels manipulative, right? I won't even, again, consciously even recognize that I'm doing this. But like, if I'm somewhere subconsciously not believing in myself and not believing in what I'm offering, right? And I'm doubting it, somewhere there, then if I did it, if I offered it, it's gonna feel manipulative. It's gonna feel pushy. It's gonna feel salesy, right? That's where those words come from. Salesy, pushy, and manipulative, right? Usually, some people are seriously manipulative. That's not what I'm talking about. Some people are, right? Like, we're not talking about that, but it's gonna feel manipulative. It's gonna feel whatever because I'm doubting myself or what I'm doing. So of course it's gonna feel icky to ask somebody to buy it because I'm scared of the no. And the reason I'm scared of the no is because I doubt, right, myself, or I doubt what I'm offering. So to not feel pushy, to not feel manipulative, you have to develop a strong sense of self. Okay, so you have to believe, and remember, our sense of self is not wrapped up in what we offer. Our value is separate from the value of our services and products, right? Like I have a strong sense of self. I know my skills, I know my expertise, I know who I am, I know what I can do, I'm confident in myself, right? So that's the first thing for you guys to do, like develop that strong sense of self. And then believe in your business and believe in the success of your business. I do mindset work. My clients know this, right? And it's so funny how many people like come to me and they're like, I just need strategy. I don't need mindset. Don't need that. It's like, okay, right? And it's like, that's it. That's a missing piece. It's a mindset piece all the time, every time it's a mindset piece. But I do, you know, like an hour's worth of different mindset work every day. Like for anything, for any goal I have, for anything I'm working towards, but it's all tied into, I already believe in the success of my business, right? I don't make 7 figures in my business yet, but I believe I'm going to 100%. It's inevitable. It's happening as we speak. That is a done deal. I have no idea how. I don't know when, but it's going to happen because I believe in me and I believe in my ability to make anything that happens work out for me, right? So I will own a 7-figure business. I will, right? Because I trust that I will do what it takes to do it. And regardless of what happens from the actions I take, I can navigate them and make them work out for me, right? And that's a lot of mindset work that I've done to reach that place. That was just not like a normal place to be, right? It's like I had to do. So for sales hi everybody who's joining, right? Like when sales feel pushy, manipulative, salesy, whatever, what's really happening is I'm doubting me. I'm doubting me, my skills, my expertise, whatever, or I'm doubting my business or its ultimate success or value that my business brings. And that's why I'm so worried about a no. I'm so worried about a no. I'm so worried about, so I don't want to hear the no, because if I hear a no, right, I'm going to let that affect me, or because I'm not rock solid in the value, right? So I'm going to let their opinion and their no actually have something to do with meaning this isn't valuable. When really all they're saying is, I don't want it. They're not saying it's not valuable. They're just saying that's not the right thing for me. I don't want that, right? That's very different than, and what you offer isn't valuable, right? So saying no to something isn't saying it's not valuable. Like there are plenty of things that are valuable that I say no to all the time because it's just not for me, right? And so like, that's the thing. You have to be rock solid in you and rock solid in your business and its success, because then you knows you don't worry about them. You don't care because it doesn't affect you. It doesn't, you are 100% certain that your business is good, right? It's important, it's valuable, it's making an impact, right? You know your skills, you know you're making an impact, you're good, right? So when we doubt ourselves or we doubt our business, of course, asking for the sale feels pushy and manipulative. Why would we ask somebody to buy something we're not believing in? But we might not realize that's happening, that we're not totally believing in it or believing in ourselves. So then we think, I'm telling people about this, doing this, it feels pushy, it feels manipulative, but that's not it. We're just doubting. And that doubt is getting projected into our feelings around asking for it, right? So the first 2 things, develop a strong sense in yourself, strong sense of self, and develop a true belief in your business, right? And you can search the word belief or believe in this group and find all my posts about how to do that, how to develop that mindset of belief that it's all going to work out, right? Focus on creating relationships, right? Because if you sell without actually knowing about the person, then you have no way of knowing if your thing actually solves their problem, right? So for you to know if your product or service is a solution to their problem, you have to know all about them. So sales calls and sales conversations really need to be about them, right? What are they experiencing? What are they going through? And that, you should have to develop relationships. If you lead from a place of relationships, then sales won't feel manipulative, because again, people are like coming to you because they want to, right? People see me speaking and then they join the Women's Business Garden, and then people join the Women's Business Garden and they hear these videos or they interact with me in some other way, and we're building a relationship, and then they're like, I want to get on the phone with you, right? Like they're choosing this because they ultimately want to take that relationship deeper until eventually they're signing on with me as their coach, right? For the ones that's a right fit. So how do you strengthen your belief in yourself and your services, says Katie, right? So I did a video on that last week, I think, Katie, but the short answer, so I would look for it, right? I would look for it. In fact, I'll look later and see what the actual name of the video was so you can find it. But the short answer is you have to really pen to paper it, okay? Pen to paper, write out all of your education, all of your experience, life experience, professional experience, right? All of your, like, I fixed a toilet, I know how to solve math problems. Like, I know, write down all of your education, all of your experience, write down all of the past situations that worked out, right? Either you said you were going to do something and you did it and it worked out, or you said you were going to do something and you did it and it didn't work out, and you navigated it. You navigated it successfully, right? Or how many times things happened to your life that like felt like they would be bad, but like you navigated them successfully, right? So it's about evidence. It's about when are the times that I like have worked this out for myself to show that no matter what happens from the actions I take, I'm going to be able to work it out to my favor, right? I trust in me, right? So I trust in me. I believe in me. I believe in the value I bring. I know like that I'm valuable as a person, period. And I happen to have skills and expertise because of all of these things I've done, all of my history, all of my experience, all of my education, all of my whatever. And also, here's also proof of times that I took risks. I asked for the sale. I did scary things. I did uncomfortable things, and it worked. Or times that I did all of this and it didn't work, and I still made it work out, right, for me. And then it's like, oh, okay, right? And the way that you feel the belief in your business, right, is to know it really solves a problem. So it's like, no, I have talked to people. I have done market research. I have worked with people before, and it has worked in their favor, right? Like it helped them. Like I know that I know my market. I know their problems. I know their struggles. I know that this solves the problems or the struggles because I have used it myself, or I have helped other people use it. And then boom, they arrive at the results that they want, right? That's where they are. And so I've seen this and I've gotten feedback and I've gotten testimonials and I've seen it and I've witnessed it with my own eyes, right? That this works, and you need to record all of that. Every time a client like says, way to go, Katie, good job. Like, oh my God, Katie, I had this moment because of a thing you said, or Katie, your product or whatever changed my, like, print that out, put it in your evidence journal. So everything I'm talking about, I put in an evidence journal, right? All the evidence of my skills and my knowledge and my expertise, all of my evidence of like that I can navigate things to my best interest, all of the evidence that like things that I do have changed lives. Things that I do have changed lives, right? Like I always have to remind myself of that. Right? The other day, somebody said, Rita, just yesterday, Jennifer Crawford, who's a member here, was like, Rita, you should put on a full day event. You should totally put on a full day event, and it's going to be so valuable, and I can totally see how you would do this, and I think it would be amazing. And I was like, nobody's going to come. Nobody's going to come. And she's like, what are you talking about? Nobody's going to come. Right? I'm like, I don't know. Like, she's like, you're starting to not believe in yourself. Like, right? Because I haven't done a full day event yet. Not like that, not alone. And it was just like, oh, there it is. There's that lack of belief again, right? But instead of like beating myself up over it, I just really quickly went through, of course you're going to come. I've done events before. People show up for my retreats. People show up for other things I do. They've showed up for smaller events. What I do is valuable. It'll change their life. They know it. Like I can communicate it. Of course people are going to come, right? Does that make sense, Katie? So hopefully that helps, like with the evidence journal. I think the other thing about sales calls and sales conversations in general that can make it feel less pushy is you have to remember that everyone talking to you already knows that you're an expert. They already know that you're credible, but the reason that they're meeting with you is because they already know you're good at what you do. Like, I already know, Katie, that you're good at what you do. Arena, I already know you're good at what you do, right? Whoever else is here with me, Jen, whoever, like Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. I already know that you're good at what you do, right? That's why I'm on the freaking phone with you, right? So if I'm like sitting there going, gosh, I wonder if this person thinks I'm good. I wonder if this person thinks my product is good. Like they're already on the phone with me because they've decided it is, right? Like that's why they're talking to me. That's why they're talking to me about it. They've already decided Rita's I've watched her videos. I know she's good at what she does. She gives really great information, right? Like this is all wonderful. I know she, right? Like I know she's good. So of course I want to talk to her because I'm pretty sure her coaching will like make my business take off like crazy. So I have to remember that on the phone, right? Nobody randomly dialed my phone number and just said, who are you? What do you do? Right? It's like, I'm not convincing anybody of anything. The entire reason they're on the phone with me or having a sales meeting with me is because they already know. They already know I'm good at what I do, and they already think they want it. We're just finding out if it's a good fit. If what it does actually, if what my service is will actually get them the solutions that they want or solve their problem. We're just validating that, right? So it's not a conversation to get them to see that there's value in my service. It's not a conversation to get them to see that I'm a good coach. They already know that. So if you guys approach your sales calls with that mindset, they already know that I'm an expert photographer. They already know that I'm a perfect accountant. They already know that I'm a great videographer. Hi, Sarah, right? I saw you come in. Like, they already know that I'm this, right? They already know I'm an expert and good at what I do. And They're talking to me because they're pretty sure they want to buy this if it happens to be the right solution. So I don't have to convince them of that. That part's done. That's why they're on the phone with me, right? If you have that mindset, it's not pushy. They're already on, they're the patient that came to the doctor to get the pill. Of course they want you to sell the pill. They want the pill. That's why they came to the doctor, right? Always make the sales process about what you give. If you start focusing on what you get, then it's going to feel pushy and manipulative, right? If it's like, oh, well, I posted, but I didn't get any sales calls. Or, oh, I like went to this event, but I didn't get any good contacts. Or, oh, I don't go to networking. I don't post online. I don't do these videos for what I get. It's for what I give. I'm giving value. I'm impacting a person. Even if only one person ever saw this video once and it made them think about one thing differently for 1 second, I have changed their life, right? That's important to me. That's my core value. That's who I am and that's what I do. I don't show up and like do this for what I get. It's all about what I give. I tell people, if you want to make 5 sales, then ask what you can give that's equivalent to 5 sales. If you want to make $20,000, ask how can I put $20,000 worth of value out into the world in some way today, right? Because you can't do that and not get it, right? You can't like pour out tons of value and things that are impacting and changing people's lives and not get a result from that, right? Like you just can't, as long as you're asking for the sale, which we learned about, right? As long as you're doing that. But like, again, even when I ask for a sale, it's not about what I get. The money that I get from asking for a sale is just the byproduct of the work I'm doing. The reason that I ask Charlene or Jennifer or Katie or Sarah or Jen or Jennifer, because there are about 18 Jens in here right now, right? The only reason I ever say is, would you like to work with me as your coach? Would you like to sign on for this package? I think you would be perfect for this group, is because I really believe it. I don't make a sale to somebody that's not 100% true. I have to really know that working with me will change their life if they do the things. That's always my caveat as a coach. If you show up for it, if you do your part, right? But I have to know that, or I'm not going to ask you to work with me. I'm going to say, this is great. This has been a great conversation. I actually don't think I'm the right fit to help you with your goals. Like, but I think I know somebody who is, and so I'm going to introduce you, right? I think that what I do is slightly different. I don't actually think I'm going to work in the style that you want. Right? Like, I just don't think that this is actually going to be the best investment of your money, but I think I know it is. Let me introduce you to that person. Right? So like, when I make a sale, when I offer the sale, it's not about me getting the money. It's about what I'm giving. I'm giving the opportunity to somebody to build the business that's going to make them consistent money, right? My clients who work with me, they go from making like $1,000 a month. I get now some making $20,000 a month, right? Most of them are around $10,000 a month, but even getting to $5,000, even getting the $1,000 consistently is a life change for them. That's what I'm offering them. That's what I'm giving them when I ask for the sale, is a chance to see they don't have to go back to their corporate 9-to-5, or that they can quit their corporate 9-to-5, or that they can have more time with their kids, or they don't have to work around the clock, or that there's a light at the end of their tunnel, right? Like, that's what it's about. So if you focus on sales about what you're giving instead of what you're getting, right? You're the doc. If the doctor makes the sale for the pill that will cure your sore throat, right? It's about what he's giving. He's giving you the opportunity to not be in pain anymore, right? Like, of course, the byproduct of that is he's going to make some money, right? But if he comes at it from, I need to sell this pill, I want to make $10,000, and he's not coming at it from, and I can cure her, and I can make her feel better, right? He's going to have a harder time selling that pill for all kinds of reasons. But like, if you you're asking for the sale, if you come at that from a place of, that's giving. Asking for the sale is giving. It's giving someone the opportunity to solve a problem. It's giving someone the opportunity to decide. Because if I don't ask for the sale, I've made the decision for them. I've made the decision for them, right? If I don't ask for the sale, I've made the decision for them, right? How is that good? How does that feel good? Jennifer's like, this is so true. There's been a major shift in my business, because I'm not interpreting no's as being about what I offer, but it's about whether they're ready to hire me yet. Yep, I'll help you get ready by sharing value. And they might not ever be ready for me. That's okay. I can't help everybody. Like, I can't physically help everybody, right? So I don't need everybody to purchase from me, but I only need like the right fits to purchase from me, right? And it doesn't mean, and no, in no way makes me validate my services less. It doesn't make me validate me less, right? So approach sales conversations from the fact that you're giving someone something. You're giving someone the opportunity to cure a problem, to realize the result, to change their life, and you're giving them the opportunity to be the decision maker about if they want that or not, right? Again, only ask for the sale when you're confident that you can help people reach their goals. If you don't have enough information to really know that and you ask for the sale, it's going to feel pushy. If you don't really know their health struggles, but you're trying to push like a product on them, right, without really knowing like their backstory or their history or whatever, and really saying this might not be the right product for you, right? Like this, I don't think this is really going to help you. I think you need to go to a doctor. Like I think you need to get that looked at, right, or whatever. Like if you don't know the history and you act like it's going to feel pushy and manipulative, right? You have to unattach from the outcome, guys. So that's the other piece. For it to not feel pushy, you have to unattach from the outcome, right? Which means, so people are like, well, how do I unattach from the outcome but also believe in my business? And it's like, look, I believe that I'm making $10,000 this month. Let's say that. I believe that I'm making $10,000. I believe that I'm going to have a 6-figure business. Let's say that. Like for me, it's a 7-figure. I believe that I'm going to have a 7-figure business, right? For you, it might be, I believe I'm going to make $50,000, but it's like, I'm going to have a 5-figure business, whatever it is. I can believe in that and not know how or when it's going to happen, but be 100% certain that it is, right? So then when I enter a sales conversation, I'm unattached from whether that person says yes or no, right? Like I'm just giving value. I'm evaluating honestly. I'm offering something from integrity, and I'm unattached from the outcome because I believe that no matter what, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to reach my goals. I'm going to get the clients I need. I'm going to make my revenue goals. I'm going to have the opportunities I want. If I just keep showing up for it, it's going to happen, right? But like if I'm attached to the outcome of every sales call I get, then I'm going to be bummed every time I hear a no, right? But instead, like I flip it, right? Like I know that I can navigate whatever it is. If that person says no, cool, I can make that work out to my favor, right? Like not that I'm manipulating them, but it just means there's some other opportunity. I have time for something else. I have time for another sales call. I have time for another client. Like it just creates space for me to navigate back to my favor. But I also celebrate the no responses, right? How many of you celebrate no's? I want to know this, like genuinely celebrate no's. I'm wondering if anybody else does this. When you are on a sales call or you've had a sales meeting or somebody's like, not now, thank you. Or like, this was interesting, but I don't think I'm ready to work with you. I don't think I'm ready to hire you yet. Like, how many of you celebrate that? Or how many of you feel kind of frustrated or down about it? Be honest. Tell me in the comments. I'm curious. Tell me in the comments. How many of you feel frustrated or whatever? Anybody? Like, how do we feel? Like, one word, frustrated or I celebrate? Celebrate or no? Yes or no? Like, yes or no? Do you celebrate no's? Yes or no? Yes, no. Do you literally have a celebration process for your no's? Like a true, genuine celebration for your no responses. Y'all are being super quiet. This is easy. Yes or no? Do you have a genuine celebration process for your no responses when people say no thank you, no for now, whatever? I've never celebrated. Is it a good thing to celebrate the no's? Interesting. So Arena, the universe just doesn't work like that. It doesn't really send you the bad stuff. It just doesn't send you the good stuff, right? Like, so here's what I mean, right? Like here, and I'm going to tell you why, Arena, that's not true, right? Every time somebody says no, I do a little 1-minute dance party. I actually have music, right? Like I don't have it with me right now. I don't even know where my phone is or I'd play it, right? But I have music and I get up for a minute and I just dance, right? I'm like, yeah, what do I gotta know? And then this is what I say. As I'm dancing, right? So picture me dancing, up and dancing, right? What I say is, thank you, universe. Well, I say thank you, God, right? But I'm going to use universe as a catch-all for you. Well, no, I'll just say God. You guys can substitute universe, right? But like, thank you, God, for eliminating the wrong person quickly and clearly with zero ambiguity, right? Thank you so much for eliminating the wrong person clearly and quickly, right? No great, like, thank you so much for eliminating the wrong person quickly and clearly with no ambiguity. Thank you for the space, mental space, physical space to find the right person. Thank you so much. So, Arena, the universe didn't send you a no. The universe sent you space to find the right person. So I want the universe to send me as much space to find the right people as I need to find the right people. And if someone hadn't said no, if someone said, well, maybe, let me think about it, I don't know. I've got to ask my dad. I've got to like go outside in the rain and sleep and take a nap and figure it out. Like I've got to do this stuff, right? Then all that does is it take up my mental space and energy, right? I'm wondering, are they going to say yes? I need to follow up with them. When am I going to hear back from them? How frequently do I? And that is all time that could have been spent finding the right person, right? So if what they meant was no, but they didn't feel comfortable saying no, and so now it's like, I don't know, or they weren't really ready, and so now it's like this thing, right? Like, and it's not going to end in a yes. Like they were just kind of using that because they felt bad about saying no, and they're hoping that like they can ghost me and like disappear, right? That just took up time and energy from finding the right person. And so when somebody clearly says no, when it's like, you know what, ready to talk to you, I just don't think this is the right fit for me, but thank you, right? Like, or I think that's a no. I'm just not going to do that now. I'll let you know if I change my mind, right? That's a clear no. I celebrate that. I'm so excited for it because I don't have to spend the next 2 weeks like following up and wondering if and like all of this stuff. It's like, that was a clear cut no or no for now. It doesn't mean I'm not still going to nurture a relationship. It doesn't mean I'm not going to give them value. It doesn't mean that. It just means I don't need to worry about that in that immediately kind of client way. And I can now have the free mental space and free energy to go find a client, right? By the way, that's what, so I don't like maybe laters. I like to tell people what do we, if it's a maybe later, if it's a maybe in it, right? Not the later part. If it's like no for now, right? Like, but if I need you in the future, I'll let you know, cool. But if it's like a maybe, then I haven't done my job. I haven't done my job. If people say maybe or they're unsure, it means they still have questions. I haven't clearly communicated like the value of my service, right? Or they're doubting themselves to actually show up and reap the benefits, right? So that what that means, right? When it's like, oh, I don't know, that's a lot of money, maybe, all of that is either they're not really fully believing in the value of your product and service because you haven't done a really good job like linking that for their brain yet, or they do believe in the value of what you offer 100%, but they don't think they're going to actually do the work required to get that value. They're doubting themselves, right? So it's my job to say, hey, like, I also don't want you to have a lot of mental energy on this, right? Like, I don't want you, Arena, to be thinking, shouldn't I sign up? I don't want you to do that for the next 10 nights. Like, what is it that you still need answered so we can get you to a clear yes or no today, right? What is it that you still need answered so that we can get you to a clear yes or no? Ah, Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. If God closes the door, it's not your door, right? It's not your door. And so it's like, I don't like people to be in a maybe state. And I tell them why. Like, this is no good for you. You're just going to be wondering, then you're going to regret it. And you're going to wonder if you missed out right now. And it could be a no for now, right? But like, what do we need to talk about? What's still unclear to you? What is it that you still need answered to be able to get to a yes or a no? Let's have that conversation, right? Like, and a later it still needs to be a no first, right? Like, no, wait, cool, right? But this is also more about sales, Arena. It's like, if people say no to my 6-month coaching, it's like, but maybe 6-month coaching wasn't right for them. And maybe there's something else, right, that is right for them. So like, that's a bigger thing. But like, my point is, I celebrate anything that's clear, that is a no. Like, I celebrate it and I say thank you so much, right, for clearing up space so that now I know and I can go spend that time and energy on something else, right? I used to tell that to dating clients when they're like, a guy ghosted me, he just disappeared, or he was like, maybe later, and then he never called me again. Maybe we'll go on a second date and he never called me, and then he just disappeared, or we were texting and then he ghosted me, or I asked him on a date and he said no, or I asked him on a second date and he said no. And I would say, celebrate that. Get up and dance and celebrate and say, thank you for clearly eliminating the wrong person from my life, right? With no ambiguity. Because a guy who ghosts me, a guy who stops texting me, a guy who says, I want to go out with you, and that doesn't follow up on that, a guy who isn't interested enough to just show up for me in like a respectful way, a guy who says no, like, I'm glad he didn't say, well, maybe, right, like, or later or whatever, and I'm wondering when, like, I'm just so glad that the answer was no, or I'm so glad he was so disrespectful, so I know he wasn't the right one, right? And I would celebrate that, and I would have my dating clients celebrate that, and that's what you're doing with a no response, right? And I express my gratitude for that space. Thank you so much. I'm so excited for what's coming my way. I'm so excited for what's headed my way to fill that space, right? And then reward yourself, guys. The other thing you can do to make sales conversations like not feel pushy is to reward yourself. Give yourself like a treat. Like anytime you do anything that feels like uncomfortable or makes you like experience discomfort, if you reward yourself for doing it, it makes your brain go, oh, we get a treat when we do this, right? Like it could be food. I keep acting like it's food, but it could be anything. But it's like, oh, we get something good when we do this, right? So even though asking for the sale is uncomfortable, I want to do it because I want that reward again. I want that reward. So when you're doing things that are uncomfortable, self-soothe after. Take a bubble bath. Use your favorite lotion. Light your favorite candle. Have something that's like only what you do when you ask for the sale. It's like a luxurious tea you drink that you don't drink any other time. It's an ice cream sandwich you eat and you don't eat it any other time, right? But like every time you do the thing that's uncomfortable, reward yourself, and then you're going to want to do it more. Okay? So like that's really the way. So if you see it, the way that you are like persistent without being pushy is to change your mindset around it, right? To believe in yourself, to change in the mindset around your mindset around it, to focus your approach in on what you give and not what you get, which is a mindset thing, right? Like looking at no's, it's all mindset, right? And a little strategy. Because we talked about the persistence piece and we talked about how many interactions with one thing somebody needs before they'll even start the process of interacting with it. And we gave like 3 or 4 different examples of how that plays out. Right? And also like how Facebook works and how the algorithm works and like how people's lives work. So if you're calling or you're emailing and you think they're not emailing me back, they're not calling me back, and you didn't like call 12 times, like, and I don't mean in a row, but like go back to the beginning of the video and see how we talked about that. Like they wanted you and then like you didn't follow up enough to get it and their life got distracting and busy and they wanted it and they never did anything with it and then they forgot about you, right? So again, like 12 times for people to interact with something before they'll do something once. On Facebook, it takes more than 5 times for people to see something once, right? And they need to see it 12 times, right? Like when you're calling or emailing, like people see it, they want to do something with it, they file it away, their boss pulls them into a meeting, their kids are sick, things are happening, they meant to call you back, they meant to register, they meant to sign up, then you posted, but they weren't on Facebook, and then you tweeted, but they weren't on Twitter, and then they saw your next Facebook post, and they meant to do something with it when they got to their computer next, but then they got to their computer next and had forgotten about it, but then they saw your second newsletter about it, and they were like, cool, and then they clicked on it, and they bought the thing, right? Like, all of that, like, that's a part about being persistent, right? So, like, I want to know what you're committed to improving, like, after this. Like, put it in the comments, whether you're live now, or you're watching the replay, like what is one action, just one thing that you're going to focus on to cultivate first? What is one thing that you're committed to improving so that you sell more consistently and you sell more persistently, right? What is one thing? And then Friday, guys, Friday, we're going to ask a really interesting question, right? We're going to ask a really interesting question. I don't really want to talk about it yet, but like it's good. It opens up next week's conversation, which is really good. So I want to know, please comment in the comments, what are you committed to? And for people who just joined here at the end, one of the things we talked about at the beginning was go through your last 10 posts on your business page or on your Instagram account or on your, if you run a group on LinkedIn or Facebook, go through your last 10 newsletters. How many of them were straight up promotional? And we gave a definition of that at the beginning. How many were educational with like a buried call to action or a buried sale? Or how many of them were just straight up promotional, right? And again, that has value, that has education in it, but like, it wasn't like, here's a story about emotional experience in my life and how it changed me, and also buy my thing or sign up for a call. But it's like, the whole post is sign up for a call, here's how it's gonna change your life, right? So that's what we did. So go through, look through your 10 posts, like do your own analysis, do your own edit, and then tell us what you find and what are you gonna change, right? But go ahead and comment, like let me know what's something you're committed to improving. I like it. Rita's going to create an evidence box, and I'll pull out one piece of evidence from it, and then one more. I love it. I love it. I used to do that in corporate America. Any compliments, any whatever, it all went into my evidence book, and I would just flip through it. I love that, right? Who else? What are you committed to, like, after this talk, what are you committed to, like, improving or changing or thinking about differently in order to be able to sell more consistently and more persistently? How was this? Did this give you insights? Did this give me some feedback, right? And if you're watching on replay, please give me some feedback too. But guys, so here's like a truth, right? Like I also sell, right? Like I have a business, right? And what was really interesting is that I only had 5 client spots left for the year. I only had 5. And I was talking to some people, I had 4. And I was talking to some people and I was like, I just don't have enough client spots to help the people I need to help. So I opened up 3. And I was gonna announce it. I was gonna announce it to the group and go, guys, I have 7 client spots left, and that's it. I have 7 client spots, and that's it for the year. Once these 7 spots are gone, it's a wait list for 2020, right? And I was gonna put it here. And before I did, I filled 2 of the spots within 24 hours, a renewal and a new client. Yay! I will be announcing in a fun video later, but a new client and a renewal, leaving me 5 spots. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to announce the 5 spots in the Women's Business Garden group because that's it. Like after that, I have a wait list for 2020 after that, right? I have 2 people that are pretty warm leads for 2 of those spots, right? So I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm telling you guys now, right? Technically, I have 5 spots left for coaching for the rest of the year, right? Next year, my rates go up. There's a new rate structure that I'm putting in. I'm going to announce it later because I think it's important for you guys to understand this new structure and like you can maybe use it in your business a little bit and like learn how to communicate all of that to your people. Because if you're, whatever, but we'll talk about that later and how it can help you. But like, this is it, right? 5 spots, but I think I have 2 that are pretty much claimed, so maybe only 3. And once these 5 spots are taken, that's it. I seriously have a wait list for 2020. Now, the one thing that I am doing, right, is that for people who think that they want to work with me, but they can't, they really can't start this year, and they want to start in 2020. If you pay a deposit to sign up with me for 2020, you will secure your spot and you will get this year's rates, right? And they're not hugely different, but it's enough. It's enough. So anyway, I just say this because if you've been thinking about coaching, if you've been thinking about, gosh, I really should get with Rita for private coaching. I really need to, like, this is it. I need to get my sales, I need to get my revenue stream in order. I need to get a sales process locked down. I need the help with the mindset work. I need that motivation. I need that support. I need someone showing up for me in my corner. I need to understand how to facilitate this, but I need my strategy, right? What I help people with is mindset, obviously, right? Really relationships, but I mean relationships with time, money, yourself, all of that. And then like strategy and action, right? So it's like mindset, strategy, action, or mindset, relationships, action, right? But it's like, let's create a strategy. Let's make sure your mindset supports that and you're not getting in your own way of executing that strategy so you can execute it full out and actually get results, right? And then let's take that action. And then let's like, I'm here for you to help you do it, to help you brainstorm, and so you don't have to recreate the wheel, right? So like clients that work with me, they get like use of my virtual assistant. They get, templates and script, like not like sales scripts, but like documents, and also they don't have to recreate the wheel, right? They get introductions to places, like they get, all of my expertise on like speaking and everything, but like it's full support, right? And my clients that are private coaching with me, they go from like $1,000, $2,000 a month to $5,000, right? They go from $5,000 to $10,000. I've got clients at $20,000, right? Near to $20,000 a month right now. But it might not even be about the money. Like they're getting their speaking opportunities that they want. They're starting to get paid to speak. They're running retreats. They're, creating membership sites. They're like doing really amazing things, right? But I know that there are people out there who are like, oh, I need this. I'm so tired of waiting for what I want in my business, right? I need that person. I need that person to help me sit in discomfort so I can see results. I don't want to hop around, from strategies anymore. I want to implement one and see really meaningful results. Well, guys, 5 spots, honestly, probably 3. So I really do think these 2 people are going to sign up, right? That's it. That's it. And then I have a waiting list for 2020. So comment, email me, message me. Let's just get on the phone. Let's have a clarity call. Let's see if coaching with me is the right next step for you. Let's see what your goals are. Let's see if I have something that can help you reach them, right? And then let's reach your goal. Like, let's do it. Let's get that done, all right? Let's not wait anymore. Let's do it. And so if you think maybe, or if you're thinking, gosh, I would really like to work with you next year, but I'm willing to lock that down now so that I have a spot, right? Because for people who don't know, I only had 10 private clients. at one time, right? So I have 10 private clients at one time because I also run other things and I travel a lot to speak. So 10 is what I can handle. Plus, I like to push up my sleeves and like be your partner, right? I like to like be in your business. And so like I like to be in your business to be in your business, right? And so I need the space for that so I can give you guys really great care and attention and all of that. So anyway, if you've been thinking, I haven't announced that yet. I need to announce it more because I know people up to this point, you've been able to pretty much sign up with me, you know, a spot or two here or there at almost any time. This is the first time that I will be booked and then I will have a wait list. And if people are going to start locking in their 2020 spots because they want this year's rate and not next year's rate, that also means my wait list might push until later in 2020. So if you've been thinking about getting a coach, if you've been thinking about me as a coach, if you want to talk and see if coaching is right, tell me. Let's just get on it. They're fun. They're as fun as these videos, I promise. You'll walk away with some value, but like, let's get on the phone and talk about it. So let me know, okay? Comment, let me know. I hope this was helpful for you. I will see you guys next week. Next week's super good. Also, I'm going to see you before next week because on Friday, I'm going to do a really fun video about the one thing that differentiates, or not differentiates me, the one thing that is keeping me from $50,000 a month, right? So you can also word that as like, I discovered the difference between me and people who generate $50,000 a month. And it's life-changing. And I'm going to share it with you on Friday, right? The one, because it's probably keeping you from $50,000 months too. So I'm going to share that on Friday, probably around, I don't know, I have calls that day. So I'm going to see. I'm going to share it at some point. I'll announce it and give you guys notice. But there are going to be a couple of videos coming up, okay? So if you have questions or anything, let me know. Comment. If you want to sign up for a clarity call, comment. Let me know. And we'll get you that spot so you at least have the opportunity to explore it and see if it's the right fit. Otherwise, I'll see you guys soon. I hope this was helpful. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.